To start a live video, my camera fell down. Interesting. Sorry, guys. I'm wondering if I should redo it. Nah, let's keep it in there. Okay. Fantastic way to start a live video is to drop your camera. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Azren, the language nerd here. As you can see by my shirt, it might be like upside down or whatever, or backwards, but I am Azren, the language nerd. Anyway, I just finished having a 3-hour chat with a friend of mine by the name of Justin. Many of you watch Justin's videos on YouTube. I put a link in the description here. We've done some videos together. We've done some projects together, etc. It's really fantastic. And we just sat together for 3 hours, talked about a whole bunch of things. We haven't seen each other in a while, and it was really, really cool. Now, Justin mentioned something which I think, to quote him, I think it was exactly the iceberg effect or something like that. I'm calling it the iceberg effect, which is a very relevant concept for language learners. And basically what it is, when you look at this quote-unquote iceberg effect, basically it's that when you look at icebergs, right, there's the 10% of the iceberg that you see above the water, and then there's like a 90% of the iceberg that you see. What was that noise on my phone? Anyway, really crazy stuff's happened today. Phone's falling, random noises on my phone. So anyway, there's 10% of the iceberg you see above the water, 90% of the iceberg that you see below the water. And what's interesting is that if you want to become relatively fluent or relatively strong in a language, you really only need to know about, you don't need to know there's 90% of the language you don't actually need to know. There's really a 10, 20, 30%, I don't know the percentage, but there's really only a small percentage of things you need to know to achieve a certain level of conversational fluency, right? And, what's interesting is that when you follow a lot of YouTube channels, when you read all the blog posts, when you're watching online on Instagram accounts, things like that, sometimes I feel like when we're learning languages, it feels like there's all sorts, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different new things you don't know. You see some Instagram thing and you're like, oh, I didn't know that expression. You see a video and it's like, do you know the difference between this term in English? And you're like, I don't know the difference between this term and this term. How do you differentiate those? I didn't know they're different. So everywhere you look, left, right, and center, you're always seeing such a variety of things that you don't know in whatever language you're learning. And yet, the interesting thing is that most of those things probably most likely don't matter, because there's only a very small percentage of things that do matter in the language. And so what's interesting is that until you have mastered that small percentage of things that actually matter in that language, until you're very good at that, and you can basically, I guess you could say, be a, I guess, quote-unquote expert on that 30%, that 20%, the 10% of things that really matter, that's when you worry about the remainder big iceberg underneath the water that you don't see. That's when you worry about a lot of that. So I guess the next logical question becomes, what is the 10, 20, 30% of things that really matter? Unfortunately, there's not really like a one-sentence answer to that. I guess the way I will answer that question is the following, is that you need to understand that most of the content that you're seeing online, every time you see something and you're like, oh, that's new to me, that's new to me, that's new to me, understand that even when you're very advanced, you're still having those same thoughts, excuse me. Those thoughts don't necessarily go away. Like myself, I'm very advanced in Spanish and French, for example. I still, when I look around me, go, I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that. How do I say that? I don't know that word. For example, let's do an example. Live example. I'm looking around me here. I have no idea how to say a post-it note in French and Spanish. These are like post-it sticky notes. No idea. No clue. When I look around me, what else is there I don't know how to say? This thingy. I don't know what to call this. What is this? Even in English. Heck, in English, I don't know what this is called. What is this? I don't know. Right? Or like, I don't know, like, what else is there? Anyway, you get the picture. There's a lot of stuff, like even this, there's like a modem, I'll show it to you. There's like this, right? This is like my modem for the computer, the router, modem, one of the two in English. I don't even know the right word in English. It's a modem or a router, one of the two, right? Even with that word, French, Spanish, no idea. So the reality is that, even when you're fluent in a language and you're very comfortable, you can watch TV, you can read books, you can talk to people, you can say almost anything that you want to say and have no issues with it. You know, everything, you feel so comfortable in the language, you still don't know most of the language. You still don't know. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, like, I think sometimes people view fluency in terms of, oh, I know the entire iceberg. I know everything. No, you don't. Not true. You know most of that visible part of you basically know the visible part of the iceberg, which is like 10, 20, 30%. And that 70, 80, 90% is still under the water and you don't know it. You just don't, right? And there's just an important, I guess you could say, mentality shift, I guess one could say. Again, a mentality shift to have, that when you're fluent, when you're really good at a language, you still don't know most things. And, you know, I think it's just a mentality shift, just an important one to realize. Anyway, that was a weird little video. Thanks to the 5 live viewers or 6 live viewers who watched this or are watching this. I think we'll wrap it up. And, yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Peace. See you guys. Hope you like my t-shirt. I actually thought I lost this t-shirt, but I didn't. So I was really happy when I found out I didn't lose it. Cool. Peace. See ya. Oh, man.